You are listening to Bohemia on Rage Breed Radio.
Hi guys, it's Karina from Rage Breed, and this is the Bohemia section for Rage Breed TV and Rage Breed Radio. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about poetry today. So we're going to do a poem taken from one of my books, which is called The Black Forest. It's available to buy from our Big Cartel store. So it's www.ragebreed.bigcartel.com. It's a hardback copy, and I'm going to be reciting a poem from there. So this poem is called Today's Promise. Today's Promise. I will stand and fight for everything I am, for today will be a new day when the sun rises. I feel the warmth of my soul rising. The world is rising around us. Let us not be left out as we speak out. For this day we shall not be ignored. Our voice is the valley of change. For this day the change is upon us. Eternity is too short in this feeling. The clouds may be against us, but the success is so much more. When the road is laid with thorns, like a passionate wind, I will soar into the sky, fly into my imagination. I am today's promise, forever.
You are listening to Bohemia on Rage Breed Radio.
Bohemia, a poetry event, and a section in Rage Breed magazine, Rage Breed TV, and Rage Breed Radio. This next poem is taken from the book also The Black Forest. This is called The Bridge. The Bridge. Here we lie on the banks of shadow. The forest of the haunted is upon us. Like whispering souls in our turmoil, we gather our thoughts into darkness. We see stories in the faces of reflection, like a voyage of tyrants in immortality. Yet the memories are infected with truth. Judgment paints a picture of new perception. The bridge ahead is our new pathway, running from the grief that is behind us. For whatever souls that lurk in our hearts, we cannot help them all on this night. We are trying to change the midnight air, yet the protectors of the slavery will not bow down. We have our swords in our voices as we sing, like the music has a heart of its own. The raven watches our revelation from above. He who judges is the one that is the weaker. Strength has become the authority in our visions, seeking out our promise to the world. We know not of our fortune as we cross the bridge. However, we do not want to wait a lifetime for a cold memory in bleakness forever. We are dedicated to our new-found fate.
You are listening to Bohemia on Rage Breed Radio.
This is another poem from the Black Forest, and this is called Strangers of Loyalty. Strangers of Loyalty. The moment beams inside with pride. I watch you all like the strangers of loyalty, the circle of trust that we will embrace for the time that it lives on. Our goals are far away, and yet each step we light a candle, for justice finds a way through the mist of the forbidden. Your inner being will always shine through. Let us travel through the highest mountains, walk through forests of fortitude, for where we have pride we have honour, and where we have honour we have dignity. There are no shadows in the way anymore, for our unit is as bold as the sun. Let us talk under the moon of our desires, for dreams keep us human in these days. Don't fall into the valley of darkness. There can be no peace where you predict the end. Risk is what makes you alive inside, sending the world into glorious enigma. Here we stand, with a journey in front of us, all of us with a burden to face. So let us face them together as one, for unity is what keeps the circle flawless.
You are listening to Bohemia on Rage Radio.
Lost Abandonment, and this is taken from the Black Forest. Lost Abandonment. I am entwining myself to the branches of lost abandonment, with only the hope you will see me as beautiful one day. I see the expressions of brambles, with thorns bleeding my eyes. Your karma is cold like the wind that blows into my identity. I am a creation of your solitude, a soulless garden, yet I feel deeply like a seed that embraced its own nature. I have felt the sun on my back, the tears in the rain, the anger of the storm, the peace of spring. Yet your visions command obedience, like a predator that eats at my core, to remind me that I am nothing. Where was the sunlight in the years of your plague? I was a rock through your falls, when it was me who had fallen. Your eyes only see the negativity that defines you. Your words sting inside, unruly, distant. The hurt remains. I am failure in your red light. I see it in your judgment. Your anger is the fuel for my right to live. Conditional love that separates the truth of this age, that everything is plastic, through to the darkest emotion. This builds up of change is your revolt against your choices. Perfection has no limitations in the end. This poem is called Visions Through an Hourglass. This again is taken from the Black Forest. On this night, my mind is rested. Thoughts go in and out of my mind. As the candle burns brightly, the room is scented with lavender. The world has stopped for this moment. As my breathing is slow, my body relaxed as I inhale the sweet luxuries in the air. I am cradled within myself, a velvet beginning centered within me, the power of stealth that uprises. A long lost voyage inside, waiting to be unveiled. The ebony flowers are falling. I am segregated in all visions. I am clear in my longing. The need is what drives me, like an ache that needs resolve. My hidden desires are moving. I want to give myself. My passion is concealed like an unwrapped present, a gift of my soul to the world, so my mark will be remembered. Yet these demons hang close, their green eyes staring through me. I used to run, but now I stare right back, for I can have red eyes. I make no excuses for my visions. My grace is what holds me high, never looking back behind me, for this time is my hourglass. This next poem is called The Castle. The room is a box where we hold our possessions. Our castle is small, yet we fit in it with pride. Yet along with the castle comes conditional status. We are the elegance among survivors. You are painting a picture of elusive perfection, Yet behind the bush stains the thirst for control. So when your words burn down my aura, I bleed, silently, until your numbness accepts me. Superficial diamonds and false smiles all round, obligation, conviction, target of crime. The red wine quenches your thirst for validation, yet the words you snap brings your fortress down. How can you build an army when there is no soldier? How can you expect substance when you delivered exile? Distorted self-importance, holding your wrists, chained to your ideology that has corrupted love. I have seen the painting one more time. So much escapism that taunts your mind. I wish the world were as beautiful as you had planned. It can be beautiful if you only rely on yourself. External validation will not be enough. The void is in yourself, where you need to reform. For when you learn to love yourself, the castle can never fall. This poem is called This Bleakness, and it's taken from the Black Forest poetry book. This bleakness. A collection of traitors, born with self-doubt, whispering black silence into cold reason. Stories of biased judgment seeping into stares, without knowing concepts that formulates the truth. You are the takers, riddled with selfish deception. The value of trust is forgotten beneath forgiveness. Blank criticisms mark the followers into fear. For one day you want status. Cautious serenity, corrupting the mind killer. Poison laughter choking your self-worth. Your words have no relevance to pride. Yet this is your small world, where you tear down the walls and are accepted among believers. Yet believers can sin into the night, gracefully smiling, feeding lies into vast naivety. Actors with agendas breeding their weakness, weakness breeding weakness like a disease, until confidence is intoxicated by humouring the silent, using the pack for self-validation as secretly alone in your darkness. We stand tall, unafraid of our true selves, watching the closed minds of negative ignorance. For we have truly won this battle, for we are real, we are truth, and we have escaped this bleakness. This next poem is called Waterfall of Dreams, taken from the Black Forest poetry book. Waterfall of Dreams. I am flying high, like a conquest in action. All the dreamers are with me in the lilac skies. Why are clouds filled with so much hope? I am watching the world go by like time. So where have I found myself again? On this roller coaster of my so-called life. Yet, when I am dreaming, it is in my subconscious. Or have I always been conscious of this? Let the waterfalls sink into my body this day, where the morning is graceful beyond all mornings. The scent of freedom is upon us this moment. How do you feel when your burden is no longer? I take away your troubles like an hourglass ridding sand. Your smile tells me that everything will be okay. Although we live in this different dimension, we are all one underneath the power of the sun. Bohemia, a poetry event, and a section in Ragebreed magazine, Ragebreed TV, and Ragebreed Radio.